Shishti, I think Avalon Technology is a very well-known player in the EMS space. And I think, for the last 1 or 2 quarters, the company has not delivered, quite positively on the EBITDA margins or on the overall profitability side. But it's got a great business opportunity. EMS as a space has emerged as a very large growth opportunity. If the investor has a 12 to 18 month kind of time frame, definitely the stock has corrected significantly from its 52-week high. So I think if the investor has got a slightly longer time frame, then definitely one can start looking at this counter, because from the bottom the stock has started moving again. But at least 12 to 15 months is a time frame where possibly one could look at a price target of at least 600 plus odd levels. So keeping a time frame of 12 to 15 months, one can definitely think of accumulating a small quantity at the current levels. Tata Power and Tata Motors are two stocks which I think can be obviously held on for a slightly longer period of time. Tata Power is a prominent power generating player, has now moved into the renewable and green energy space, has done very well. Q2 numbers have also been very strong. Plus, outlook for the next 2 years looks quite promising. As far as Tata Motors is concerned, I think the JLR business has picked up very well. The company has said that they would be now generating significant amount of free cash flow. And plus, the domestic commercial vehicle and the domestic passenger car market is also growing pretty well for them. My sense is, I know the company should do well. The listing of Tata Technologies will obviously give them a short-term kind of value unlocking opportunity, because the majority of Tata Technology is held by Tata Motors. But even otherwise, looking at the overall macro opportunity, I think both these stocks can be held on for decent gains. I think Infosys, I think one can prefer to wait for some more time. At least the next 2 to 3 quarters are going to be quite challenging. My sense is that despite having cash on the books, Cheryl, what is important is the growth quotient. Growth is definitely a little bit clouded as of now, and I think it would be better that he waits till the March 24 quarter and then take a call. Although the price is attractive, I think the stock may not go anywhere, at least in the short to medium term. So I think it's better to stay away for some time. I think a better bet would be the private banking sector or maybe the capital goods sector, where I believe a lot of re-rating is expected over the next say 12 to 15 months. IREDA can be held on at least for the next 6 to 12 months, because see, clearly, even on a valuation perspective, IREDA trades at about 1.2, 1.3 times its book value. And more importantly, our sense is that the first quarter post its IPO performance, the company's performance should be pretty solid. What kind of growth commentary comes in from the management, that is also very crucial. So I think it's better to wait for at least another 1 or 2 quarters, see the performance post the public issue. And I think looking at the kind of order book which they have and the opportunity in the green energy space, clearly this stock can be further be related. But as of now, it would consolidate, because post the IPO, it's already moved up by 100 odd%. So I think if the investor does not require any money immediately, I think he can definitely hold on for the near term. See, my guess is that Tata Communications is a great business, but I think in the last 2 quarters, margins have stagnated. Revenue growth has also remained more or less flattish. And I think the outlook given by the management has also been pretty cautious. So I think, in the very near term, it doesn't look that Tata Communications could see any kind of significant re-rating, although the outlook for the next 2 years is quite promising. But I think if he needs to, get into a stock which is from the Tata group and which is expected to do significantly better, at least over the next 12, 15 months, I think Tata Motors would definitely suit better. So Tata Motors at around 700 rupees can definitely give him a price target of around 800 to 850 rupees. And I think clearly the tailwinds in Tata Motors are much better than Tata Communications. Clearly, Tata Power on declines can definitely be purchased. Other stock which we like is basically, Larsen and Toubro at the current odd levels. I think Larsen is also very well positioned to deliver a very strong kind of performance over the next 2 years. A very strong order book plus execution has also been pretty good. So I think, in this market, one has to be a little cautious in buying into tranches rather than buying everything in one shot. The markets have shot up quite significantly. My sense is that, whenever the market gives a decent, correction, that would be a good time to accumulate. I think other stocks which you could look at accumulating could be from the real estate sector, that is Oberoi Realty, Anant Raj, or typically, from the capital goods space, another good company like Cummins India. These are all very good businesses, but I would believe that, buy on decline would be a better strategy rather than putting all your money in one shot. See, I think already he's well into the money. He's bought at 70. Now the stock is about 110 odd rupees. IOC should benefit significantly from softer crude prices, considering that their GRMs are very well interconnected to the crude oil price levels. Giving an opinion on IOC for the next 2 years is a little difficult because clearly the it's a commodity based business where cyclically if the crude prices move up or down, then it impacts their profitability significantly. But at least for the next 1 year, Shristi, I think he can definitely continue to hold. I would believe that the next 2-3 quarters from all the oil marketing companies is going to be quite rock solid. So I think he'll need to take a fresh review once 2 to 3 quarters are over. But clearly, I think at least as of now, the uptrend continues to be quite solid. My guess is I think PC Jewelers is a stock where a lot of corporate governance activity plus the financials are not in a great shape. I think retail investors should realize that it is not only the price but the value and the growth opportunity which they have to observe when they think of any new investments. So I think clearly keep away from the stock, not a fundamentally great stock. So I think better would be some other gold companies like Kalyan Jewelers or typically a Titan. I think investors need to take a long-term view and build a good quality portfolio of stocks. Looking at the kind of trajectory in the stock price as well as the performance, Shrishti, I think another 6 to 12 months, this stock can be definitely be held on. The management commentary and the numbers have been pretty solid. So I think you could expect a much more robust performance in the second half of FY24. So I think continue to hold on. I think from these levels, another 15-20% upside looks very much possible. But I think at least a time frame of 6 to 12 months needs to be given by the investor. He's entered the stock at a pretty good level, and I think Udaipur Cement should benefit, from its ongoing expansion. And they operate in the northern India market, where I think I believe the prices have also started improving. So I think giving a time frame of 12 to 15 months, he can hold on. I think definitely it's a small cement company, but looking at the uptrend in the cement volumes plus a decent amount of pricing gains coming in for most of the cement companies, I think the investor should hold on, keep a time frame of 12 to 15 months, and I would believe the risk reward from these levels could be significantly better. Power generation and power distribution are two pockets, as well as power financing is now becoming a very hot kind of sector. So I think looking at the longer term opportunity, yes, I think definitely one can start nibbling in these stocks. But I think the time frame needs to be at least 12 to 18 months because all these stocks have jumped quite significantly. So to get a decent kind of gain, the investor will have to give in a slightly longer time horizon for their investments to nurture into something better. So I think clearly, if the investor wants to buy, time frame to hold on would be at least 12 to 18 months. If he wants a low-priced pharma stock, I think Piramal Pharma has turned around quite significantly in the second quarter. The management commentary also has been pretty solid. So I think Piramal Pharma can be a good bet. It's moved from almost 9,900 odd rupees to 125, 126 now. But if the investor can hold on for the next 12 to 15 months, we expect some sort of further re-rating here, considering the fact that it's turned around, and I think the second half typically is a much stronger period for the company. So I think Piramal Pharma could be a good bet, at the current odd levels. I think my guess is SBI should definitely benefit over the next 2 years, considering that the credit cycle still continues to be in double digits. And I think SBI has shown tremendous improvement in its asset quality, loan book growth. So I think around 572, which is the current market price, one could comfortably expect a price of around 650, 675 over the next 2 years. And as far as Geo Finance is concerned, it's still a new business, but looking at the kind of the opportunity in the financial services space and the size of its balance sheet, I think Geo Finance could definitely do well over the next 2 years. You need to be a little patient here because unless and until numbers come in, the management clarity on the on the vision and the growth potential is not put out properly. I think till that time the stock will remain in a small range. The stock got listed around 215, 20 odd. But I think longer term, yes, there could be a lot of wealth creation from this stock. But I think you need to give in at least next 12 to 18 months here.